Hello guys, FBSib here today, and today I'm going to do a review of the new Astro C40 controller. And this gameplay is a 63 kills slash EKA gameplay, and I'm using the default Core 8 class because I just prestige. And honestly, I didn't think I was going to pull a good gameplay with the Core 8 because I really hate it. But I ended up doing pretty good, and because I didn't think I was going to do good with the Core 8, I did not do a normal recording, so I had to use Theater for the backup gameplay. And damn, Theater looks a lot better than it did when Black Ops 4 first came out. Oh, I don't know what kind of theater that was, but sure, I don't know, that was horrible. This gameplay was using the Astro C40 controller as well. So far, this controller could be the best PS4 controller right now, and I'm not joking. It's really accurate, very responsive, and the analog sticks feel really good. But the sticks could use some more grip. But anyways, the analog sticks also have less tension than a default PS4 controller. It's not like loose, but it's very easy to move the sticks around compared to a default PS4 controller. With that being said, you can use control freaks on the controller, but it's very tight. And when I put the controller freaks on the controller, it almost feels like the controller freak could break. But they do fit. You just have to put some force on it, and it works pretty good. I personally don't use controller freaks on the Astro C40 controller, but the long stick that comes with the Astro C40 controller works pretty good. Then the buttons on the controller are like very clicky, so that's really good. The triggers on this controller are really nice. It has a decent amount of tension on it where you won't accidentally aim or shoot, at least in my experience. And in the software, I put my triggers to be the most sensitive as possible. So one little push on the triggers, it will start shooting or aiming. And I still don't have no accidental aim or shooting problems at the moment, which I feel is faster than a default PS4 controller, even if you are using the R1 and L1 as you're shooting and aiming. So pretty much you will have a faster reaction time with this controller. Now, this controller is highly customizable. You can take off the faceplate, which is held by 4 screws that are built into the faceplate, so you won't be able to lose those screws. And when you take the faceplate off, you can change out the analog sticks slash modules, which you can replace with new ones, so you don't have to buy a new controller when an analog stick starts to wear out. Which, for that reason alone, is why I bought this controller. The fact you're getting a premium controller that is better than a default PS4 controller, this controller will probably save you money in the long run if you buy a new PS4 controller constantly. I personally buy a new PS4 controller probably every 6 months or so. That's usually how long my PS4 controllers last before the analog stick starts to wear out. And if you buy scuffs every 6 months or so, this controller will save you a lot of money. Because usually when a controller starts to not work the way you want it to work, it's always the analog sticks being worn out. So with the Astro C40 controller, instead of buying a new controller, you can just replace the analog sticks and just buy a new one. I think Astro said their analog sticks slash modules should be about $20 off their website whenever they release it, and there you go. If you had a default PS4 controller, you probably would have to buy a whole new controller with that, and it's a lot cheaper this way. And yeah, that's really awesome. You can also take off the thumbstick tips and change out for longer sticks or shorter sticks, concave sticks and convex sticks, whatever Astro's has, which Astro probably going to sell different sticks on their website at some point. That makes sense to me. You can also change the controller to a PS4 layout or an Xbox layout, which is pretty cool. You can have Xbox position on your thumbsticks or the PS4 position on your thumbsticks, and that's pretty cool. I mean, I personally keep my layout to the PS4 layout because I tried the Xbox layout on this controller, and my left thumb would actually hurt when I use that layout. So yeah, the controller itself has a weird grip texture as well, but your hands won't slip off the controller. Pretty sure. Best way to describe the gripping is it's like a very smooth rubber feeling. It's actually kind of weird to touch, but at the same time it's really nice. The buttons on the back of the controller are probably the best buttons slash paddles I've ever seen. No matter the hand size, your fingers will always be rested on the buttons, so you will have no problems pushing those back buttons. They are naturally set on your fingers no matter what. It's very well done. The trigger stops are decent. I mean, I personally think they could do better on the trigger stops. You still have to push the triggers at a more of a distance than I would like, but they are decent. I wish there was an option for even less travel time on the triggers, but that's fun. And a really cool feature on this controller that no controller offers on the fly, it has 2 different profile layouts. So there's a switch on the controller. You can flip to a profile 1 or 2. You can customize those profiles on the Astro C40 software that you can download. So for an example, you can have profile 1 for first person shooting and a second profile for racing games. Or you could use a profile 1 for run and gunning in Call of Duty and use the second profile for sniping. That's really cool stuff. And the main things on the software of this controller is you can change the sensitivity of the analog sticks to pretty much anything. You can have it like super fast, super slow, bit in between, a little bit in there and there. It's very precise on changing the sensitivity of the on the analog sticks. It's actually crazy. You can also change the sensitivity of the triggers, and you can remap any buttons you want. And I personally leave the analog sticks at default, but I did put my triggers to maximum sensitivity. So a small push on the triggers, I'm shooting and aiming, making the reaction time on this controller feeling faster than most controllers. And I remapped the buttons on the back to jumping and reloading in Call of Duty. The one negative thing about this controller though, it's a heavy controller. It's probably about 3 pounds, and I actually had to change the way I hold the controller because the way I was holding the Astro C40 controller before, it's so heavy it would actually numb my right hand after about 30 minutes of playtime. Before, I would hold my controller on top of the table, and I had to change it to under the table because of how heavy the controller was. So you players who play controller on top of the table, just watch out. You might have to change it for under the table playing. And I think that's about it for my review. Honestly, it's a near perfect controller, and it greatly enhances your playing experience on the PS4. Even if you're a casual gamer, this controller is worth it. It's just a better experience. It's awesome. Thank you for watching. This is FPS Abe, and enjoy the rest of your day.